Okay, this is a video of my Atari. Something that I had for a while, but these are not the original ones. But these two games, however, this one and it's another game like this one. Where is it? It was Solar Fox. Right there. These two games, however, these are the only two games that I'm the original owners of since 1984 and 85. The rest of these, I rebought them. Because back in my day, you know, like I had a big collection of games going on. And, you know, and then I really loved my games. But of course, it came a time when I wanted money and decided to sell off everything, you know. Because I wanted to update to the latest stuff and everything, you know. And then these are some of the instruction manuals that I happen to have for some of these games. Remember these? I remember this back in the early 80s. Remember all this? I probably might make a separate video for these, I don't know. Remember all these? Remember this? I tell you, remember all that? And then things like this, remember this? And then this. Yeah, remember all these things? Yar's Revenge. I just have some. But, you know, back in my day, I saved all the instruction manuals and everything. Back in my day, but of course, I eventually sold them all. Sold my games, you know. Cosmic Arc. Space Star Voyager. I loved that game. Star Voyager, and this was one of my favorite games of all time for the Atari. And I happen to be the original owner of these two, and the instruction manuals too. I mean, this was probably ultimately, it was these two games that were my favorites of all time. But I liked a lot of other games too. But anyway, and this box here is the only box that I have of the Atari games. And then this is the Star Raiders pad, and that's the only game that uses that pad. And then all these games. I loved all the, I mean, some of the games that I really loved, I could tell you. I mean, this one, if I would put a scale of 1 through 5 for each one, this one was probably a maybe a 1 or 2. This one was a 5, 1, 5, a 5, a 5, a 4, a 5, a 3, a 4, 4, 4, 3, and I liked this one, a 4. This was 5, and 3, 5. I love Demon Attack. Missile Command was like a 4. This game was a 3. I was not a sports guy, but my brother loved this game. This one was kind of like a 2 or 3. This one was a 4. This one was a 4. But I liked the sounds on the game though. This one was a 4. This one was a 5. If I could give an additional star, I would. This one too. This one was like a 2, I guess. Maybe this one was a 3. Maybe, probably like a 3 or 4. This one was a 5. This one was 4. 5. And this one was a 4. This one was a 3. This one was a 3. This one was maybe 2 or 3. And this one was a 4. This one was a 4, or 3 or 4. This one was a 5. I loved this game. This one was a 3. This one was probably a 2. Cause I mean, it sucked. This game kind of sucked. This one I liked. This one a 4 or 5. This one this was a 5. I loved this game. This one was maybe a 3. This one was a 5. Video checker, it was probably like a 2 or 3. I was not even. This one was like a 2. It was because I didn't really, because I got it kind of late. This one was like a 4. This one was a 3 or 4. This one was a 5. Probably a 2. This one was, I mean, I would say it was a 5, but it was more like a 4. This one was a 3. This one was a 5. And then this game, well, I did not own it, but I just got it not too. This one was probably like a 2 or 3. So that was my ratings of the games that I loved. So now, I'm gonna go play some Atari right now. I'm gonna demo some games. Remember when we used to turn on the Atari? It would make these random sounds. But they recommended you that you never do this. Remember that? But you know, I've never seen any of these Ataris breaking because of this. I never seen it before, but they said never turn it on without the cartridge. But I mean, but when we would turn it on without the cartridge, it would do this. It would make these little rainbow. Remember that? Yeah, like the random. Remember that stuff? Well, this is a Genesis pad, but that's what I'm using for right now. But I have the Genesis as well. I have the Genesis and the regular 8-bit systems. And this TV, I'm the original owner of this TV from 1989 or 88. I think it's 88, and I have the remote for it too. And then this case, this was actually a home stereo system rack, but I bought it for my home stereo, but I put my TV in here instead, going on to the later years. So I'm the original owner of this rack. Paid $50 for it at the time. Power 106. These are some of the games that I have for the Nintendo. And then the pads. There's an all newer game. And then these are the games that I have for the Genesis. And this is a vintage cassette. And then a remote control for one of the VCRs. There's my VCR there. I think it goes to that VCR. Yeah, it does. Remember these? And then that color TV. 19-inch. Remember that it was a luxury to have those, and then it was a luxury to have a color TV back in the days. So right now I'm gonna go play Atari right now. Remember this? Remember these? I love the sounds of that game. Yeah, I like the sounds of it. Let me see, what's another game I liked? Well, this is the game that I'm saying was my favorite. This one right here, Tunnel Runner. This is a game. That's a game I really loved. eaten up. And then we'll play. And this is another game right here. I loved this game, Solar Fall. This is one of my favorite games of all. I loved this game. And then what are the popular? That's another game I used to like to play. Cosmic Arc. I'm gonna play another game. It's another game that I can use for another game I used to like to play. Well, back in our days, we used to play the asteroids and stuff. I used to like this game. It's one of the first games that ever really came out. Remember that? And then, what else? It's another game I used to like. Just play a random. I used to like the music out of this game here. Sorcerer. A lot of these games I used to like the game only because of the music, and this was one of them. Some of these games, there's really not much to do on them, and then Home Run. This is a game that my dad bought us for $10 in 1982 at FedMart. Wow, these games, remember this? You can't play this one unless we have 2 players, I believe. I'm not really sure. Oh yeah, we had to use the left controller. Yeah, I think one of these is... remember that. So, and then, the paddle games. Remember the paddles? We used to have to use it on I believe we used to have it on this side, or what game is it? What's the game I used to love? I used to love to play this back in my day. I loved playing this game. Especially the double. I used to like to play double. But these controllers need to be lubricated so it doesn't get jumpy like this. guys. Yeah. Circus Atari and Circus Atari. I loved this game too. It's a little stuck in here. There we go. It's kind of like Breakout, but we used to play this game. They used to actually have this game at Mexico. Well, when we used to go to Mexico, they had this game in Mexico, and we used to pay a quarter to play these games. And then I was surprised that they had this on the Atari. And it's exactly like what they had at the Mexico. Well, okay. That was the show for the day.